Morning, Nate.
Morning, Mike. New location for you this morning, huh?
Yeah, everyone's asleep. We're still on vacation because we're all teachers. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Nice, gotcha. Yeah, we should have another captain joining us here shortly, but for now it's just me and you, so.
oh, cool. We're gonna implement it. Do you know? I've helped another business coach develop his online program. This is not a coincidence.
What do you mean by that?
So, I guess I consider him a friend now. Like we talked about that thing where clients become friends. I was running a adventure program with him. So he was doing leadership training. He used to be a Green Beret, and then I was doing the hunting portion. And then so he practiced with me, and then he developed this online package that he's selling. And he's like, "Dude, I couldn't have done it without you. Like you were my first client," and it was fun.
Oh, cool. What was the scoop with those pictures you sent me the other day of those, what was that? Were they all, link cut or was it just the
That one short, and then it was slow the first hour and a half, and then I took them to one of my little honey holes, and they just started getting bit. They left so happy. I mean, but there's different levels of clients, right? Like these guys were the fishermen where the son, liked fishing so much, they do family vacations based on fishing spots for Kai. So,
were they so they weren't locals then? Were they from out of
yeah.
state?
Their brother, Jake's brother lives in Shell Beach, but Jake lives in Michigan. So he's like he was born and raised in California but moved out to Michigan.
Where's he from in Michigan?
So I want to say Saginaw, but I kind of forgot.
Okay. Shoot, Saginaw's only, like, 40 minutes away from me, but, how did they find you?
Our coaching stuff. So when you were like offer gift certificates, I had the gift certificates ready. I went to a Christmas stroll with one of my co-promoters, and then the uh, let's see, Jake's brother met me, booked the trip.
Okay, nice. Where where did you end up with the gift card stuff, like, after Christmas and whatnot? How did that all end up
Yeah.
shaking down?
So, hmm.
Like, I don't mean numbers-wise, I just
Yeah.
mean, like, as far as like, did is anybody still up in the air, or is everybody kind of locked down?
Everyone's locked down. I generated a I got another client call today for a deer and pig hunt. And so I'd like to close the sale today without like rushing them really.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then, so yeah, for 2 weeks ago, I don't think I hit my 30 calls again but I did send out some more texts. What started happening is I got busy with clients. Like Christmas happened, then I had that trip. I had like three trips, like boom, 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 that were all kind of connected to how we did the gift certificates. And then I closed out the season. This is my best November, December I've ever had. I made like 2,000 bucks. So for
Nice.
me, that's like, you know, 2000's great for me. Like that's because in a
For sure,
business
yeah.
where my yearly intake's around 10 grand, just shy of 10 grand. So if I can just keep building on that every year, that would be great.
Yeah. Nice. So now that the gift card stuff is behind us and we're kind of moving on to a new frontier, just to kind of close that out, I think I asked you last time, but we were still kind of in the midst of it. But now that it's actually done, what would you do differently, or what do you wish that you would have done different looking back now?
I'm ashamed I don't hit my 30 texts, like just hitting what I say I'm going to do.
So the inputs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other
Well,
stuff
the good
comes up.
news. the good news is that that's a super easy fix.
Okay, good. But I
Yeah.
mean, I tend to be really hard on myself. I don't know if you noticed that our time together, because then, like on the flip side, I made $2,000 of revenue and Google reviews, and like I had a client say, like, "Say no more, Mike. You got 25 Google reviews at 4.8 stars." Like people are starting to notice that. Like I can't be a used car salesman and have that kind of stuff on the internet because people place a lot of confidence in the internet just because I can't control it.
Yeah, exactly, which sometimes, you know, that it's a double-edged sword, but
Oh
it
yeah.
adds. Yeah.
I have 2 or 3 bad reviews that I leave out there in internet land just because I talked to my uncle about it. My uncle was kind of being a dickhead and he's like, "You need to take that down." And I'm like, "No, man, I need to leave it up because this is not Disneyland. People need to like a buyer needs to beware. Like they can read about a trip that went sideways. It is what it is."
I 100% agree with that. I think that in the weirdest way, having a couple bad reviews, um, I mean, you're still at 4.8 stars, so it's fine,
Yep.
but having a couple bad reviews in there, and when I say a couple, I just mean maybe 1, 2, 3, something like that. I mean, proportionate to how many you have. Now, if you had 1,000 reviews, now you could have 20 bad ones, and as a percentage, it
Yes.
still wouldn't be that much. But I think it actually builds a little bit more trust with somebody because at least for me, like if I'm looking at another business and I see that they have perfect 5 stars and no one's ever said anything bad, I'm like, man, either they're grooming this and deleting out or reporting ones that they don't like, which then makes me lose trust with them because I'm like, well, why are they removing all of any ones that says anything bad? And when I can look and see, because another thing that happens in my head, like if I always use restaurants as an example because they're the easiest example, but if I look and I see a couple bad reviews and they're all about the chicken sandwich, but everybody says that the hamburgers are great, I'd be like, "Oh, cool, like, I wasn't gonna get a chicken sandwich anyways." So, like, the customer can kind of, like, form their own conclusion in their head, um, of the bad review. It's like do you get what I'm saying? How it could literally
Oh,
build more trust?
100%, Nate. And I can't uh also I want to it helps me accept what's going on. And my uncle's a cop. So it's like I got to consider the source on feedback too, because he went out of his way to find the review, call me up, tell me about it, and not in a supportive way. And I was just like, dude, now I'm gonna leave it up there just to like I get a little spiteful. Like I'm motivated from spite sometimes. I'm like, now I'm gonna leave it up there because you don't know what you're doing, Uncle. You know.
Yeah, the only thing when it comes to reviews that's gotten me before is, like, I will totally own up to anything that I've done. Like, if somebody's gonna say something that actually happened, then I'll own it. But what really gets me is like, for my storage business, like somebody left a review last winter about something that didn't even happen. And I'm like,
Yeah.
look, like I'll own it if I did it, but this is literally a lie. And then it looks bad on the internet if you're like having an argument in the comment section with them about it because yeah, it gets really tricky, but sometimes it happens. I guess it is what it is.
They're good problems to have. I've had this. So we've had the same experience. The review I left up is on Yelp, and then Yelp offered me. This is so shady. So Yelp offered me to take it down for $1,000. They have Yelp lawyers that make it legal somehow, and I've always had that suspicion that that stuff happens. And I'm like, dude, I'm not paying $1,000 for, and then my uncle owns a restaurant. It's arguably like the best steak in California. And there's clients that go on there and rip their steaks. And I'm like, and you can tell the people that left the review are crazy. Like you could do anything and they're not going to be happy. So yeah.
Yeah. Real quick, just give me just a split second here. I
Yep.
got a text from that other captain. I just wanted to see if he was having trouble or what. he's not going to be able to make it this morning, so no worries. Um,
Darn. I wanted
okay.
the three horsemen.
Yeah, I know. We'll get there.
Okay.
I'm just kind of brainstorming. So, all right. Do you remember what I said our next line of business was going to be now coming into
Yeah, you
the new
reminded me
year?
to stay laser focused and the signs, but I'd like to do something before the signs. So I've got to make so when I made those flyers that didn't work that were a little janky, but I liked that it was guerrilla marketing. I've got to keep the costs really low because I got some other marketing things. I'm gonna my Three Planes website hosting. I'm gonna pay him to help with SEO. Um, I just have an intuition it's gonna work, and then so I'm not gonna be able to spend like I can't do the signs yet. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay. From a cost perspective, you mean?
yeah.
Do you How much do you think they're gonna cost? Because you might be
Oh,
surprised.
the $300 to get those 100 signs, and I want to make it stupid, like you said. That makes me so happy that there's like
Where
Pismo Adventure signs everywhere. Like, get so many, it's silly.
where were you gonna get the signs if they were wanting to charge that much?
Um, I guess the guy that was printing these hats, I've already done business with him, and I thought I'd get well, maybe even for 300, maybe even he'd probably print 500 signs, but he like had him. It's around $300. I'd have to look into that though. That's
Okay, because what I was gonna say is the place I order them from online, I mean, they ship anywhere in the US, so you could order it
oh,
from there too, but I get them for 84 cents a piece, so
$1 a piece. Oh, well, maybe I should do that. Let me write that down. What's the name of the company, Nate?
it's called
Because I
signsonthecheap.com.
I could, I, I could swing $100 and do the SEO thing. Okay, so because that's the signs on the cheap.
Signsonthecheap.com, yep.
Okay,
I need to become an affiliate with them or something because the amount of business that I've sent to them is kinda ridiculous.
okay. Uh, signsonthecheap.com, 89 cents a sign. And I like your marketing tactic of Michigan Honey Hole charters with the phone number and the clients hold it because those pictures are going to circulate and then they'll just call, you know. I like that. I'd like to try that. The
Yeah.
thing is I have to be really mindful to be laser focused because everybody wants my money. I'm getting stuff from Instagram. There's another guy that wanted to do my Instagram marketing. Um, he had a good vibe like you, Nate. Like he's like, look, Mike, I know I can help you. I'm just totally not going to listen to anybody with their pitch. That's like, if they won't commit from the get go, I'm really wary of them. Um, but I want to focus because now I'm like, 2 weeks till I go back to teaching. Oh, let's do all this stuff. And you reminded me it's not a good idea.
What do you mean if they don't commit from the get-go? What do you mean by that?
Well, you were like, I found out later you had already been reaching out to me, but you were like, Mike, I know for this amount of money, you're gonna make a lot more money. And I did. It was
Oh, I
the
see. Yeah, yeah.
it was great. And I get a pitch almost per day now for SEO, internet marketing, email churning. I guess because my name's out there, people find my business and send me cold calls. So but then I call them and they're like so vague, Nate. They're like, just send us money. That's kind of like that's their sales pitch. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, it's crazy out there, but can you explain to me a little bit more what you're talking about with the SEO thing that you're wanting to
Okay.
focus on before the signs? I don't really understand what you're saying.
Okay. So uh I've been with Three Planes website they specialize in hunting and fishing websites since 2017. And so he's going to get my address squared away. So I'm on all the big, like, essentially whatever you Google and Bing, how it's all the internet. He's going to get my address right. So do better in SEO. He's going to go over the keywords. He's going to do a tidy up on the website. Um, uh, what are the other two things? Basically, this is the other reason I trust like the three planes. He was like, Mike, you don't know what the hell you're doing on SEO. Just can you please let us help you? So by him being kind of negative, like I know if like they don't that he's not bullshitting me. So he's gonna like wave his SEO wand and make it a little better. And I have faith he can do it. It's just kind of expensive. So that's
Okay, well,
you know,
a couple things with that, and I
yeah.
just wanna be clear, I'm not trying to knock anybody, like, I'm sure he's a
Okay.
great guy, like, I I'm not putting anybody down or saying my way's better, I'm just giving my honest opinion here. I think that SEO provides an incremental difference
Oh.
when you're doing it at a lower scale.
Mm,
Now, for big companies and stuff like that, where that is like their main thing, they can have infinite amount of dollars to dump into it. Like it can work and it does work. But at least for me personally, like with my own charter business and stuff, I've noticed because I've been down the rabbit hole of paying for SEO and all of that stuff, and it does work a little bit, but there's just so many higher leverage things. Like if you really just boil it down to it and you think like, what is my objective here? And your objective is probably you want to get more bookings. And then you have to ask yourself, what is the highest leverage thing I can do to make that happen? SEO is not the answer. SEO is
oh,
something that you can have going on in the background. Like it's totally good if like on top of other things that you're doing, if you're like,
yeah.
you know what, I want to, get some SEO. Like, don't get me wrong, it's great. I mean, the internet isn't going away anytime soon. It's only going to get more and more important. So it is a good thing to
Yeah.
have going. It's just I would not focus all of your attention on that. I would have that be like something that you kind of are doing on the side, like messing around with SEO or whatever. But that's
Yeah.
not going to just open the floodgates to like a bunch of people booking. I mean, trust me, you'll get a couple months down the road, you might get a few bookings from it, but it's not going to be like. I would be shocked if you came back to me and you're like, "Oh yeah, like I've been getting 5 to 10 calls a week just off this SEO tweak." Like, I don't think that's going to
Yeah.
happen. Me personally.
Well, I guess you're right. I I really like three planes, Nate. I get a little and now I've told them I'll do business with them. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that because I don't want to. I'm committing marketing dollars to that, and the reason I did that was because another guy was going to do Facebook stuff for me. What I'm doing is I'm taking this 2000 and kind of churning it back into the business. So
How if you don't mind, and just to be clear, like, I'm trying to give you as honest of advice as I can because I'm not saying don't work with them so you can work with me, like, I'm not trying to financially benefit from
I
this
don't
all.
feel that, Nate.
I'm just
And I'm
saying.
just using money because like that's my barometer right now. And I'm like you can tell I'm happy I made that because I don't think if I was working with you, I wouldn't have made it. So
How much, if you don't mind me asking, how much are you gonna have to pay, like, for this SEO stuff?
$300.
One time?
Yeah. And then he's gonna want more after that because
How
it's
how much
really
more did that get
expensive.
talked about?
Yeah, I did. It's $300 a month. So it's like I already told him that's out of my budget. And he's like bound and determined that I'm gonna see some growth right away. So, but I mean, I'm not obligated or anything, and he's gonna start running it before I pay. But maybe maybe I do the signs, or maybe I do both, or
I'm just Alls I'm saying is Man, I'll put it this way. As long as you're upfront with them and you say like, "Hey, look, it's not really in the budget to do this like on an ongoing basis, but you sound really confident in what you're doing. I'd be
Yeah.
willing to give it a try for a month. You know, I know it's not going to be life changing in a month, but if I see some results, then I might be able to keep going. If not, but I'm willing to give you a try." Like as long as you frame it that way to them, give it a try for a month. If you want to do that, by all means, give it a try. I'm just saying, like, I would if I was a betting man, I would bet really, really good odds that if you took that $300 and bought like 300 signs with it
Yeah.
versus putting it into SEO, I think you'd get a way, way, way better return on investment.
And I really like the, sign idea too because that's more guerrilla marketing. Me and my son are gonna go out and staple them and go talk to the owners on the corners and be like, "Hey, if you can put this here in your lawn, you can come fishing for me with a deep discount." Like all those kind of leveraged activities. Because for a smaller business like me, like building those relationships is huge. Like I paid out the kayak shop $100 and he was just over the hill happy, because he's just because he's trying to make his kayak shop as, financially viable as possible. And my mentor basically, he's out of the game now. He sold the shop. I used to have to pay him I got to pay him 40%, but like that was too much. So I'm back down to 20% for referrals.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit more reasonable for a service business, you know, that 10, 15, 20% range, but, something to be careful of, and it just reminded me as you were kind of saying this, to think of in the back of your head whenever you're making these decisions about, like, you know, whether you do the signs, whether you do the SEO, uh, and I can't speak for you, I can only speak for myself and what was going through my mind when I tried a lot of different stuff, is I would make the decision not because it was the better one, but because it was, me avoiding, doing the work or the pain per se, because, like,
Yeah,
getting out there
I'm
and
sorry.
going up to houses and putting out signs, like, that's uncomfortable, you know, and I know because 'cause I've been there, but just, you know, turning on some ads or dishing out some money for SEO, it's like, you don't have to be uncomfortable by doing that because it's all just, like, happening, you know, like magic on the internet
So
where,
true.
uh, you know, so I would just be cautious that you're not making the decision, to avoid the work, but
Okay.
it's I guess I don't wanna beat a dead horse, but I'll put it this way, it's not gonna hurt anything if you try it for a month. It's not gonna hurt anything. Worst case scenario, you're out $300, and I'm sure there's worse ways to waste $300. Um, I would just not make that your only, focus. I would kind of just keep that on the back burner if it works great, but don't get too emotionally attached to it.
Okay.
So that's my 2 cents with that. Um, yeah, and honestly, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I went through and I did a big overhaul in the classroom on Captain Skool because, uh,
I didn't know.
what okay. Have you had a chance to check it out since I updated it?
I just noticed the difference since I already listened to everything. I just was I didn't check it out.
Okay. So what I'll say with that is the thing that I kind of noticed is when I had it broken out into like all those separate videos and it took like 2 hours to get through or whatever, you know, I noticed a lot of guys, they weren't able to like get through it all. Like they were getting like halfway through and then getting stalled out. And in my mind, I'm like, man, it's only 2 hours. Like you can't focus for 2 hours to get through it. But it's just what happens. So I had to make a decision. And what I did is I went through and I condensed it even more, and I just really had to boil down, I'm like, "What matters the most?" Because I need people to be able to get this done in literally one sitting. So, I condensed the course into a book version now that is I have the ebook version for people who prefer to read, and I have the audiobook version for people who can listen. Now there's no excuse. They can listen to it while they're in their car. And I boiled it down to the audiobook is only 25 minutes. So it's like, and I cover all the stuff that I did in the course that took 2 hours. I just boiled it down 25 minutes. So now it's as value dense as possible. And what I've noticed is now, once people start it, they're able to actually get through it, which is important
Yeah.
for getting the value. But the point of what I'm trying to make here is if you haven't already checked that out, since the last time you went through the course was like a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
just, if you listen to it again, you'd be really surprised at all of the new now that you're a few months into it, you have new perspective on things. You would be surprised how many new ideas come to you, especially like with the SEO stuff, because I talk about like Google business profiles and things like that. Um, so I would say like sometime before our next call, like in the next week or so, um, when like I said, whether you're in the car or whatever, if you just listen to that again, I guarantee you'll have a bunch of fresh new perspective on
Okay.
things moving forward.
I used your strategy too of making an appointment to talk to those clients I'm talking today to close the sale. Normally, I just call people, but I sent the text first. So those small little get them curious, send a text, make an appointment. It seems to be working well. Um, it's just so customers are so savvy, like they don't want to be inconvenienced at all, and it's kind of weird because as an archery hunter, like, that's what I do is inconvenient. I'm purposefully making things difficult. So, it's amazing people don't wanna talk to me. Like, I'm taking them into the Pacific Ocean, but they're like, "No, I wanna schedule these I wanna see the date, I wanna book it, I'll send you all the cash right now." And that increased my conversion. So, those little fine adjustments seem to be working.
Yeah. No, I mean a lot of little things make a big difference. But all right, so to kind of wrap it up and land the plane here a little bit, uh, I always like to end these calls like with like some concrete actions so
Yeah.
that you don't feel like you're left in no man's land. But in order to have actions in place, it's important to know like where we're trying to go. So without looking on too far of a time horizon, like how's January looking for you as far as like do you have anything on the books? Like what are your goals kind of? And then we can reverse
Well,
engineer it to what the inputs would
yeah,
be.
close the sale today, with those 2 hunters. So, and then start thinking, um, the top 3 are close the sale with the hunters, start booking clients for halibut and sand dabs. It's just that it's really hard to catch them, so I gotta make sure I tell clients that when they call and they're interested. And then 3 is start getting ready for all the master guide hunts, all not my Nevada stuff, because the draw for the master guide hunt in Nevada starts in March. So it's like just around the corner.
Okay.
So the signs will be from my fishing operation, but I guess if those are my top 3, I got to take one out and focus on the signs because now I'm pretty convinced I better just face my pain, taste the pain, and go talk to some people with the signs and staple them up and all that stuff.
If you look at it this way, ordering the signs is easy peasy, and
Okay.
then so you can tell yourself like uh whatever you want, but once the signs are sitting in your garage, you're gonna be like, oh well shoot, they're sitting right here, like I might as well go put them up. So yeah. Um, I don't know what your budget is and stuff like that, but so here's what I would recommend, like in the next week before our next call. So go through that uh the new and updated classroom. It only takes 25 minutes. It'll give you some new perspective and you'll be able to ask some new questions and stuff next week. So do that. And then look into signsonthecheap.com, see what you can get for what kind of deals. I know there's shipping on top of the 84 cents a sign or whatever, but it still should come out. You should be able to get 100 signs for like $100 all in. Um, so
And the
at least look
Michigan
into that.
Okay, in the Michigan honey hole, I just noticed you have your name, phone number, no pictures of giant fish, none of that. Just be very simple.
Yeah, don't. I would actually say like look, I'm not saying you have to order them the next week, I'm saying just at least look into it, get it maybe play around with a design or something, but
Okay,
before you order it, um, I mean, if you're really eager to do it this week, you can send me a picture, or we can just go over the design on our
okay.
call, next week, because last thing I want is for you to spend the money and order the signs and something to be majorly wrong with it, so
Yeah, and you know that's not an area of strong point with me. You're like, "Mike, these flyers were made in 10 minutes." I'm like, "You're right, Nate."
and it's I have to be really clear on this now because I just had a kid that I was talking to like a week ago or so, and he was new to the community, and he as soon as he went through the classroom stuff, he is 19 and he started taking action immediately before I could even talk to him, and I'm like, dude, like I applaud you for taking this action, but he had already ordered signs and everything, and he paid like $4 a sign, and I'm like, dude, you just got robbed. Like, I wish I could have told you all of this stuff before, but, so anyways, now I'm
Tuition
being
in the
very
school of life. Boy, I've paid my share, Nate.
yeah. So, alright, yeah, anyways, I think that should be enough for you to work on for the next week or so.
Okay.
Do you have anything else that you wanted to mention?
Um, I guess I'm feeling kinda silly. I didn't make, what do you think's my strong point I can leverage on as we're kind of moving forward? You said I'm is it just that I'm action oriented? Like that can be a real strength.
I would say that you don't overthink things to the
Okay.
point of, like, sometimes, a little bit too much, like we had talked about
Yeah.
before, um, but what I've noticed just from the last couple months of us working together or whatever is that you're not afraid to implement things and you don't get too caught up on perfection. So like those flyers, like I've told you before, like I can fall into the trap of kind of being a perfectionist and I'd spend
Okay.
like way too long on optimizing everything. Whereas you're just like, oh yeah, like put it together and just get it out there, which that's a really good trait to have. Like I'm telling you, that is a good trait to have. You just have to be like a little bit careful because you want to make sure that you keep quality high too.
Okay. Quality. All right,
So,
man. Well, thank you, and yeah, we'll talk again in a week, I guess.
all right, man, sounds good. We'll talk soon.